Disclaimer: the interviews were done via email due to the tight schedules of the media practitioners. The content and words are from the media practitioners themselves, but the recordings you're about to hear are not the actual voices of the media practitioners. It has been dubbed as it is. Hopefully this doesn't cause any confusion. Meet Mr. Wilson Lee Flores, a columnist for the Philippine Star. What are your observations and opinions on the roles and images of women and men in media?
I noticed that although many of the top positions in media have traditionally been headed by men, in recent years women have been achieving a lot of inroads and taking on top-level positions, whether as editors or even corporate bosses. On the issue of images, I think there is more equality and fairness nowadays towards women than before. But I think there are still some instances of gender biases affecting women in terms of images. I think sometimes the mass media still tend to depict women as sex objects, especially in the entertainment or showbiz news. This bias seems to be prevalent in the advertising industry too, such as the use of sexy-looking women for liquor advertisements or commercials.
What are your contributions and conscious efforts in affecting the roles and images of women and men in media?
As a columnist, I try my best to project a more positive image of women in general. I wrote through the years that women in the Philippine society seem to play more important roles than women in other Asian societies. I've even written that ours is actually a matriarchal society.
How can the roles and images of women and men in media be improved and/or changed?
I believe that media should be more fair in depicting women or discussing their roles or when reporting about women in the news. There should be more concerted efforts to teach future journalists in colleges and universities the principles of gender equality and fairness.
Lastly, are you aware of Magna Carta of Women? Do you apply it in your workplace or profession? If yes, how?
Yes, I have heard and read in the news about this law. In my office and workplaces, I try to help uphold gender fairness. There shouldn't be any discrimination based on gender.
This is Mrs. Kathy Solis, Public Relations Manager at ABS-CBN. What are your observations and opinions on the roles and images of women and men in media? I believe that the media now knows that the audience has grown and cannot be deceived. Before, women were portrayed only as doing household work, while the men work and provide for their families. But right now, more women are a major part of the working force, even holding top key positions in companies. What are your contributions and conscious efforts in affecting the roles and images of women and men in media? In my work in corporate communications, where we can give our comments to our production group, we are able to express our opinions on these matters and can influence content. How can the roles and images of women and men in media be improved and/or changed? The MTRCB as well as the NGOs advocate gender equality. I believe they have been actively doing their role in calling media's attention to these matters. Lastly, are you aware of Magna Carta of Women? Do you apply it in your workplace or profession? If yes, how? Yes, as far as I'm concerned, I was able to enjoy a 2-month paid sick leave when I had to be operated on both ovaries in 2013.
Created using Powtoon.